So now why Python actually? Okay, so most of you already know that actually Python is getting more popular from the 2015 or 16 onwards. But why Python is getting more popular in the last 6 to 7 years? There is a reason for it. It's not like simply okay, someone is saying Python is popular and everyone is following Python. There are specific reasons why Python is getting more popular nowadays. The first and foremost important reason is developer productivity. What is this developer productivity? Okay, so to understand this, I'll just take one example. I'm just going to compare Python with Java here, because before 2015 or 16, the top most popular language was Java. That was top most popular language. But after the 2016, Python became the top most popular language. But why? So because I'm just comparing the top most and the top second language now for your understanding purpose. Okay. So let us see. My requirement is something. Okay. I have a hope everyone can see my screen. I have an information like information.csv file. Okay, I'm just opening my file to show what is the content there. Okay, so this information.csv contains some information. Okay, so this is some almost 400 rows are there nearly, and some 26 columns are there. Okay, so now in this thing, just first understand the requirement here, what we need to implement, what we need to code. My requirement or my logic required is first, using any programming language, Java or Python, you need to read this file, read line by line of this code file, and understand how many classification. There is a column called classification. In this classification, how many CKD values are there? How many? There is one more non-CKD values are there. If this is what my code that I need to develop in either in Java or Python, whatever it is. Okay, so if this is my logic I need to develop, let us take.
Sir, voice is not audible, sir.
Oh, not is again not audible. No, just check it. There is some problem is coming. 1 minute. Let me just fix it default microphone. Okay, yeah, I got it. Yeah. So hope I'm audible now. So I'm sure it won't repeat again. So I fixed the problem permanently. Am I audible now to everyone?
Past 10 minutes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Yeah, sorry for that. There was some small setting change in my Google Meet. So because of that, the error came. So I fixed it now. I'm sure it won't repeat again. So now, developer productivity. Yeah, thanks. So developer productivity. So in developer productivity, I'm just going to explain. So my requirement is something like this. Okay, there is a file called information.csv. Someone is asking you, you choose what the language you want. You develop the code in the Java or Python, whatever the language you can choose. But what the client or someone is asking is, you read the file, for example, and requirement is, for example, there is a column called age. Okay, so these are all the patient's information. Each and every patient having some age, like 48, 7, 62, some ages are there. We need to calculate the average age of this entire data. Let us say that is what our requirement. Now, I given this task to one Java developer and one Python developer. Okay, what Java developer? Java developer knows only the Java language. If requirement comes to Java developer, he will understand the requirement. He will develop the code for the requirement to get the exact output. Okay, and Python developer also will do the same thing. He will try to understand the Python requirement properly. He will develop the same program in the Python language to get the same required output. Okay, now you don't need to understand what the logic I have mentioned in the Java program. Okay, I'm just going to open. There is a Java program and Python program. I have developed it for this requirement. Okay, so now first let us say this is my Java program. Okay, which is going to give me the same thing. What the requirement? I have to read the file. There is a column called age. In the age, I have to get all the ages. I need to calculate the average age and I need to display the average age value. You understand, right? This is what my requirement. So don't worry what is this entire logic and everything says, okay? But you understand what is the requirement, how this program is giving the correct output or not. Let us say now if I am execute this program. Okay, again, first I need to compile Java C dot Java. First I'm compiling the program. That is the first step in Java. And next, once it is compiled, yes, it is compiled. Just a note only. There is not a warning, errors. And I'm just executing the code. So see, average age of the patients is 50.325. That is the average age. So I'm just getting the output. There is no problem. Okay. So now I'm just going to execute the Python code also. A Python developer already developed the Python code also for the same thing. Let us take the file. Okay, that is also average age.py. So here also I'm just getting the same output. So output is good in both the languages, Java or Python. Now let us see how many lines of code a Java developer developed it to get this output. Output is the same, requirement is the same. Okay. And Java developer developed the language, this requirement in the Java language. Python developer developed this requirement in the Python language. See how many lines of code a Java developer written to achieve this. See here the number of lines. How many lines of code? Almost like 61 lines of code. 61 lines of code a Java developer written to get this output. Okay, you understanding? But if I say go for Python developer, what Python developer did, he also must written some code to get the same output. If I see the Python code, how many lines of code has Python developer written? Only five lines of code. To get the same output, there is no change. So at this point of time, don't try to understand what is this code meant for. We are going to understand this code in detail actually. But here what you need to understand is, see here, to get the same output, a Java developer written almost 61 lines of code, but a Python developer written only 5 lines of code. Okay, but how this is makes a difference? How the Python is getting more popular just because of this? The industry works like this. The software industry works like, if I am the client, I want to develop my software. Okay. So if I go a Java team, hey, this is my requirement. I want to develop this software. You please develop this. What Java people say is that, yes, to develop this software, we need to write some 2 lakhs lines of code. And for each and every line, this is the time we are going to take. And we need, for example, 5 developers. And we need to work on 6 months. So you have to pay for us 5 developers for 6 months. That is what the payment is going to happen. If the same client goes to a Python team, development team, hey, I just developed this software. What Python team will say? Yeah, we don't need a 2 lakhs lines of code here. Okay, we just need some 20,000 of lines of code is enough. Okay, 2 lakhs code, 20,000 is a far difference. We need only just two Python developers are sufficient for this, and we need to just work on only for 3 months. You just pay for 2 months. So two Python developers for 3 months. That is enough. So how much the billing difference, how much the client is going to spend expenditure on this if he wants to develop this software in the Java or Python? There is a huge difference. In case of Java, he needs to pay for 5 developers for 6 months. In case of Python, he needs to pay for 2 developers for 3 months. How much difference it is? What client says, hey, if the Python is just asking me only for 2 developers for 3 months, why you are asking for 6 developers, 5 developers for 6 months? Java, this is the Java language. I have tried the 2 lakhs for code for sure. Without that, I cannot able to develop this software. What the client says that because of Java limitation, there is you are in Java, you are writing more code. There is a problem with Java. Then why I need to pay for more money to develop this software? Python is very easy. I can able to get this software within 3 months, and I can paying less to software companies. Why I need to pay more? You will say that yes, I'll go with Python because I am getting the software within 3 months. Java, they are saying we delivered the software in 6 months. Why client you need to wait for another 3 months extra? So like this, all the clients in the market, they are slowly shifting from other languages to Python. As long as clients are shifting, software industries has to accommodate, or they have to facilitate, or they have to develop the softwares as per the client needs. They are also shifting from Java to Python. As long as the software industries, clients are shifting from Java or other programming language to Python, always the jobs are going to be increased. And if you learn Python, you'll get a good chance of getting the job. You understand how the developer productivity. So this is what the entire here in this whole discussion, developer productivity is what we are going to take is the amount of time the developer is spending to develop the code to get the same output. To get the same output here, Java developer is spending writing 60 lines of code. For example, for each line of code, he is spending 1 minute. So how much time he is going to spend for this one? 60 minutes he is going to spend to get the same output. There is no difference in the output. But here in Python developer spending only 5 minutes of time to get the same. Remaining 55 minutes of time, Python developer, he'll spend on some different tasks, some different code development and different extra. Right? So that the software also built very properly. So here the productivity of developer is, it's like 60 minutes for Java developer, 5 minutes for Python developer. The Python developer have more productivity because he is implementing the same task, same requirement with just 5 minutes. Right? But Java developer is spending 60 minutes of time to get the same output. The productivity of Java developer is very less. It's not a problem with the developer. Java developer is also efficient developer, Python developer also efficient developer, but it's a problem with Java when compared to Python. You understand, right? So that is how the Python is getting more popular nowadays, actually. And let's go to some other reasons also. So the next reason is huge support libraries. Okay. So as we already seen in yesterday's class, there are some many things that you can do. Like you can do mobile app development and games development and web development, networking development, numeric scientific programming. Okay, and also artificial intelligence and data science. Everything you can do with Python. Okay, but each and every case, for example, if you want to develop, web development, you have to say Django and Flask. So what is this Django and Flask? These are the two libraries readily available in Python, which are developed in Python and readily available to you if you want to do any web development. You don't need to write code from the scratch, from line 1 to line. All the methods are readily available. All you need to do is just understand which method is required at what place, and just have that knowledge and use the correct method at right place. But if you want to go for example, numeric scientific programming, there is a NumPy and Pandas. And what is this? These are also developed on Python only. And if you want to do any calculations, numerical calculations or scientific calculations, large and very heavy computation calculations, you don't need to write any code to calculate the average, to calculate the mean, median, mode, statistical information. Everything is all readily methods are available. Libraries are readily available. All you need to have knowledge is which method I need to use at what place. If you have that knowledge, then you can just use the correct method at right place. That's all. Similarly, for you go for anything like any like game development, mobile development, networking program, libraries are readily available in Python. You don't need to develop anything. All you need to have the knowledge is which methods need to use at what place. If you have that knowledge, use the correct method at right place. That's enough. Rather than writing some thousands lines of code, you write only some 2 to 3 lines of code, because these methods are readily having that knowledge or having such a facility for you to do whatever you want to do. So huge support libraries are readily available in Python. Next is portable. So to understand the portable, first I will compare again the top most two programming languages, now Java and Python. Okay. For example, you wrote a program in Java. This is your Java that you have written. What also we call this code is source code generally. Source code means the code whatever you have developer has written. The terminology is source code, means the code written by developer is called source code. During the compilation process, what it will do? It will convert the source code to a byte code. Right? That is what the Java will do, compiler. If there is no problem in your source code, compiler will generate the byte code, also called low-level language, what we also call. or bytecode, low level assembly code, whatever the different terminology we have. But it's a bytecode what we generally call. Once the bytecode generated, then it will execute the bytecode to get the output. That is what the Java will do, right? So in this one, once it will generate the bytecode. So for example, in your laptop, Windows 11 is there. You developed this code, source code in Windows 11. Okay, and you compile this code, source code, in the your laptop only, Windows 11. And for example, your Java version is Java 1.8, let us say. Okay, so you in your laptop, which is operating system is Windows 11, and Java version is 1.8. Okay, using these two, you generated the bytecode, and the bytecode get generated. No errors in the your source code. Bytecode successfully generated. Java execute the bytecode to get the output. For example, now you are done with your program. Your program is good. Now you want to share your program to your team member. How you want to share? If you share this source code, will source code is enough to get the output? No. If you share the source code, your team member again needs to compile the code to get the bytecode, and again that bytecode needs to be executed to get the output. So again, two steps needs to be done. So is there any possibility to share just a bytecode to him so that you don't need to compile it again? Right? You don't need to compile it again. You will just execute the bytecode to get the output. Yes, there is a possibility, but there is a restriction. Conditions are there. Your team member also, your team member laptop also, it should have only Windows 11 only, because your laptop is Windows 11 in which the bytecode get generated, and his Java version also, any Java version 1.8 or higher of the version of 1.8. Anything is fine. If these two conditions are satisfied, then you can share just a bytecode to him so that he will just execute the bytecode to get the output. He don't need to compile it. If his laptop is not Windows, his laptop is, for example, Linux or Unix operating system or Mac operating system, there are some different operating systems, or not even Java 1.8 or higher, it's Java 1.7 is something, anything, some changes are happening, then your bytecode will not work here. It's a different platform. Platform means a machine having some different operating system or different software version. That is called different platform. This platform is different. This platform is different. So in a different platforms, the bytecode will not be executed. Clear? But in case of Python, that's not the case. Python case is something new. If you write a program in Python, this is what your Python code, what we are also called as source code, generally as a common word. And once you execute this or interpret this code, what your interpreter will do, it will interpret each and every line by line and execute the line by line, assuming that your code doesn't have any problems. Okay, and it will get the output clearly. Okay, clear? So here also internally, this bytecode. Okay, 1 minute. So as I already mentioned, each and every bytecode, like source code, will be interpreted to get the bytecode. So here also it will generate one more bytecode called PYC. Okay, this is called bytecode, what we can say. Okay, it's a low-level language. All people also call it a low-level language. And this bytecode will be executed line by line to get the output. This is also the Python will do. The same process is the same. The only difference is it will do the entire thing in one shot, but here it is going to do it line by line. That is the only difference. Okay. So now this is your source code written by developer. This is the bytecode which is generated by Python interpreter to get the output. And your this is what you developed by you, and your operating system is Windows 11. And for example, Python version is 3.8 something. This is what your platform. And if you want to share your code to a team member, Python code, what you have to say, you can share the Python source code. Again, what your team member need to do, again, he needs to interpret the code and execute the code to get the output. Okay, again, two-step process will be there. Is there any possibility to just share the bytecode? Yes, there is a possibility, provided, for example, you share your bytecode to your team member. Your team member operating system is Windows, same operating system, Windows 11, and Python also, Python 3.8 version. Okay. If this is the same operating system, same version of Python, yes, you can share the bytecode to him, and he will just execute the bytecode. There is no interpretation process is required. Since it's a bytecode, Python interpreter will just execute the bytecode to get the output. This is same as Java. There is no difference. But the advantage here is, for example, your friends or team members operating system is not Windows 11. It's like, for example, Linux or Unix or Mac, some operating system, or some Python, different Python version, like 3.8 or above Python version. Okay, different operating system. Understand this. Even in this case, also, even your platform, your team members' platform is something different. Platform different means it's a different operating system. In that case, also, if you just share the bytecode to your team member, the bytecode will get executed. Means it's a bytecode is a platform independent in Python, and bytecode in Java is a platform dependent. Clear? So means while you are sharing your code to your team members, okay, but your team member is not only one or two members. Your team is there is definitely a size of some 10 people, 50 people, different size of teams are there. So every team member is not possible to maintain the same operating system, exactly the same Java version or same Python version. Some people will install some different operating, Windows 10, Windows 7, okay, and Linux, Unix, Mac, some different things. So how you are ensuring? So that ensurety is not required in case of Python, because whatever is the operating system in your team members, whatever is the Python version, like low compatible version, so your bytecode will execute everywhere. But in case of Java, that is a restriction is there. Everyone in the team should maintain the same operating system, same Java version or higher version. Such restrictions are there. So such a restrictions is not there in Python. That's why it's easy portable. Portable, it's a very easy portable. You just whatever you developed it, you execute it. It will generate the bytecode PYC. You just share the PYC code to him. That's all to him. So he doesn't care about what is the operating system your team member have and what is the Python version, the same or higher version, doesn't matter. So it just that will work in your team members. Understand what is called portable? And again, open source means, because operating system is this Python is basically a open source software, means you don't need to purchase any license for it. In case of Java, now Java is a licensed software. You need to purchase a Java. If you need to work on the Oracle, you need to purchase a license for Oracle. Means you have to pay some amount to Oracle software organization to get a Oracle software. Like similarly, if you want to go for Java, you have to purchase a Java software by paying some amount to Oracle. Oracle is a company which is owning Java software. But Python, there is you no need to pay anything to Python organization. It's a free open source. So that if you can use it the same software in any projects or commercial purpose, residential or like individual purpose, anything you can use it. Python is open source and powerful. Why it is powerful means Python is powerful because it supports the object-oriented programming language features, and also there is a huge support of libraries available in Python. So that's why it's very powerful. You can easily develop even a complex requirements, complex softwares also you can easily develop with a small number of lines of. Okay, and it's easy to learn because it's a dynamic typing is involved in the Python. Okay, what is dynamic typing? You don't need to understand. We'll discuss about in detail actually. Okay, but there is a concept called dynamic typing in Python. Because of that, it's easy to learn and easy to use also. Easy to use, you already seen, because for the same requirement of reading file and getting the average age, the Java developer written almost 61 lines of code, but in case of Python, he just written 5 lines of code. Easy to use, easy to write also. You can write a very small number of lines of code to get the same output. And software quality, as we already discussed, this software quality like QA testing. Testing is always depends upon how many defects you are going to have in your code. If there is less number of defects, quality is good. 0 defects means is extraordinary software. There is no defects. Defects are high means it's a software quality is very poor. That is how we are going to calculate the quality of the software using number of defects. Defects can comes from your coding level or from the design level. They sometimes design also a wrong design, so defects may come. But we don't know go for that much depth. So if there is any problem in your code, there is a good chance for the defects. As soon as this Python is going to accept or support the huge libraries, which are all the proven libraries. These libraries are working perfectly good. There is no defects in these libraries. Already proven. You don't need to test them again. As long as you are using these libraries and as long as you are using these object-oriented features, there is a chance of defects is very, very less in Python because of these two reasons. So that's why when you develop some software using Python, obviously the quality of the software is generally a good. Then generally we'll have some 80% of good quality of the software will be developed. Clear? So these are all the different reasons like why Python is getting more popular nowadays. Is it clear, everyone?
Now today's topic is interpreter. So we already discussed Python is an interpreted programming language. Okay. So there is a code called mycode.py. There is a file. We already seen a couple of files also. Let me go back to the files, whatever we have seen during our last session. Okay. So one of the files we have seen is these are the two files. Okay. Average age.py. Okay. So this is the code we have been, don't try to understand this code because this is too early to discuss to understand this code. No need to worry. We are going to discuss each and every topic in Python so that you can able to understand this code in detail. Okay. But now what we need to focus is whenever you are executing this program in Python, which is written in Python. So what it is going to do, the interpreted programming language always going to first go to the first line of the file and check each and every letter in this line is correct or not. Is there any problem in this line? If there is no problem in this line, then it will execute the first line. Okay. And coming to the then interpreter will come next to the next line immediately. And again check, so is there any problem in the second line? No problem in the second line. Then execute the second line. So it's keep on going to the line by line until the last line. That is how the interpreted programming language will work. So during the very first step, like for going to the first line and checking the line is proper or not. So if line is proper, then it is going to generate the bytecode for the first line. Second line. Line is proper, code is proper in the second line. It generates the bytecode for the second line. Third line, there is no problem in the third line. So it generates the bytecode for the third line. It's keep on going a line by line. Okay. So who will do this validation process, like checking each and every line by line, and who will execute the code? There are two steps involved. For example, I have written 3 lines of code. What Python will do when I execute this code? Okay, Python will just go to the first line and first do, is the first line correct or not? Is any problem in the first line? No problem in the first line. And it will generate the bytecode. Once generated the bytecode, it is going to execute the bytecode of the first line. First line is over. And again going to the second line. First perform the again, is there any problem in the second line? No problem. It generates the bytecode of the second line. Then it executes the second line. Bytecode generated for the second line. Second line is over. And third line. It is again going to check the third line. Is there any problem in the third line? No problem identified. So it is going to generate the bytecode for the third line. Then execute the bytecode generated for the third line. So third line is also over. That is the only 3 lines present in the program. All are completed. So who will do this first step, second step, and third step? Who will do this? So the answer to this question is, in Python programming language, there is a component called interpreter. Okay. Interpreter means don't think that interpreter is something a different software when compared to Python. Okay. So when you have installed Python software, in that software itself, there is a small component called interpreter will be there by default. That comes automatically with the Python installation. So in the entire Python installation, there is a one more small component called interpreter. Interpreter will do these steps 1, 2, 3. What is the first step? Interpretation, I can say. Okay, interpretation. And next is bytecode generation, BC, bytecode generation. And third is execution. These are the 3 steps Python interpreter will do. Okay, means whenever you execute a code, okay, in command prompt using the command called Python space name of the file, file.py, okay, name of the file. This is what the command that we generally use to execute the code in Python. Okay, so immediately Python interpreter comes into picture. It will just read the file a line by line and interpret the line first line, generate the bytecode for the first line, execute the first line. Going to the second line, interpret the second line, generate the bytecode for the second line, execute the second line. Third line, again it is going to interpret the third line and generate the bytecode and execute till the last line. Whatever is the last line, it is keep on doing the same thing. So Python interpreter is taking care of these 3 steps. Okay, interpretation, generating bytecode, and execution. Is it clear so far? Anyone have any questions? Okay. So going in depth actually of this interpretation, this Python interpreter job. Okay. So Python interpreter, to be honest, Python interpreter will do the first step and second step. And third step, it is going to hand over the third step. What is the third step? There is execution of the bytecode. Second step is bytecode generation. First step is interpretation. Third step is execution. That is what we discussed. Okay. Python interpreter will do the first and second step. Third step, Python interpreter, there is a small component inside the Python interpreter. The component name is PVM, Python Virtual Machine. PVM full name is Python Virtual Machine. It's a small component inside the Python interpreter component. Python is a big software. Inside the software, there is a Python interpreter is there. Inside the Python interpreter, there is a small component called PVM. This is a PVM. This is an interpreter. And this is a Python. So component, when I say component, it's not like a separate software or something. It is just a code. Some code present in the Python software, which comes by default with the Python software installation to us. So interpreter will first do the first step, which is interpreting the code, and do the bytecode generation. Immediately, Python Virtual Machine, PVM, which is present inside the interpreter component, which will execute the bytecode generated. You get the output. Is it clear so far? Okay. So that is,
Yes, sir.
yeah, this is the job of interpreter, and this is the job of PVM, which is present inside the interpreter of Python. Okay. So now let us see. We already seen the different commands to execute the code. So we have seen only so far one command. We see some different ways of executing the code. Okay. So now, for example, so this is my Python file program. It contains some program. Okay. Let's execute this program. So the command, whatever we have seen so far is, for example, I'm just opening the command prompt. Okay. So what is the way that we have seen? There is a command called Python space name of the file prefixed with the complete file path. Okay. This is my name of the file, averageage.py. Okay. This is averageage.py file, which is present in this path. I am just giving the full path. This average.py is present in this particular folder. C, users, Chaitanya, Dropbox, and etc. This is present there. When I execute this get, I'm just going to get the, okay, no file or directory. Okay, 1 minute. I'm just going to get some problem. Okay. Java compilation. Okay, let me just copy out this code. C Python. Okay. Okay. So let's take the small path here. Okay, that is present in C Python slash average age.py. Okay, so this is what command we have used to execute this code. Present in the code. What is the code? Code is nothing but a file here, average age.py. There is some Python code present in that file. Okay, this is a code present in that file. I want to execute this code. So what I will do, I will just say that Python space the name of the file with complete path. Okay, this is one way, we already know that. So there is other way. Other way is that Python just a file name average age.py. So when I execute this code, how Python knows that where is the file average age.py present in my entire laptop or computer. So to do this, Python will not search for this file in an entire computer. Okay. What Python will do? Python will search this file only in the given directory. This is the only directory Python will search. Is there, if I go to this directory, C users Chaitanya directory in my laptop, C users Chaitanya. Is there any file called averageage.py? There is no such file. So hence, when I execute this code, Python will search for averageage.py file in this directory. Since the file is not present in this directory, it is going to say that no such file or directory present. So to execute that code, the one option for me is either I need to copy the file actually. So C Python averageage.py. I am just going to copy this to C Chaitanya. Okay, this is the place where I am just copying it, and now I can able to execute that code. Okay. Say Python space the file name. Python is going to verify the average age.py file is present in the current directory or not. Yes, now it is present because I just copied it here. Okay. Now execute this code, is going to execute the file because the file is present in the directory. Clear? So other option is that, okay, for example, so C Python. So this is the same file is present in this average.age.py is present in the C Python folder. So what I can do, I can simply change the directory C cd C colon. So I have changed this directory. Now if I execute this code, Python average age.py, where Python is going to search for this file? Python is going to search for this file in this directory one. Yes, in this directory file is already present, so I can able to execute this code. That is also fine. Is it clear? Okay. So when you execute either of these commands, Python the file name or Python the full directory file name, anything is fine. So how Python will be executing is in every of your laptop. Okay, this is my laptop is Windows 7 laptop. Component called or there is a information called environment variables. So in my laptop, this is the path. When I go to the personalize, there is a system is there. Under the system, there is a about is there. Under about, there is a advanced. See, I just go to the system. There is a about section. Under the about section, there is a advanced system settings. Okay. Under the advanced system settings, there is under the advanced tab, there is a environment variable. Okay. So environment variable, there is a one variable called path. Okay. So inside the path, there is a couple of directories. When I say Python space, means we are telling to computer that, hey, this is a Python code. This is a Python code. So you just take help from Python software and execute this code. That's what this code meaning to computer. Okay, I'm repeating again. So with this command, what we are telling to computer is, I have a program average_age.py which is written in Python. So you take help from Python software which is already installed in this laptop. Take the help from Python software and execute this code to get the output. That's what we are telling to computer. So from where Python or computer going to search for Python software, where it is installed. So Python's our computer always checks for in this path directories. This is a path variable. Okay, this variable contains the following list of directories. It is going to check for in each directory, is there any Python software installed? Yes, in my laptop, in my current laptop, Python software is installed in C apps folder. C apps, there is a Python 3.11, and here there is a python.exe is there. So Python, our computer will search only in these directories, and look for python.exe file and take that file to execute this given program. Okay, so this is mandatory backend process computer will do whenever you execute this code. So when you say Python space the file name, Python is first going to take help from Python software which is already installed in your laptop. So how Python is going to, computer is going to identify where Python is installed from your path environment variable present in your system. One of the directory must be having a directory of python.exe. So this is the highlighted directory where my python.exe is present. My computer will pick up that python.exe file present in this directory and again going to find where the average_age.py is present. My computer always going to find average_age.py here only in this given directory because I did not provide the complete path of the file. Okay, so since in C Python folder average_age.py is already present, so for my computer find the Python software, my computer also find the file whatever is required to execute. Since it find both the things, it is going to simply execute the program. Is it clear? So the other option is, the other command we have is, there is a command called py, a shortcut for Python. Here we are giving a full name Python. Here I am just giving a py. So py here, for example, I am written a code like this: py space the complete directory where the Python program is present. This is my Python program average_age.py that is present inside the C Python directory. So here Python is, my computer is not going to check where Python is installed. Okay, my computer is going to check only average_age.py is what user is asking me to execute. Okay, so and he has given a complete path of C Python average_age.py. So my computer is going to check whether the average_age.py file is present in this directory or not. If it is present, it is simply execute the code. Or also I can say C average, so py average_age.py. What it means? It means since we have not provided any complete path where the file is present, my computer always going to search for this file in the C Python directory only. That is the only directory where my computer is going to search. Yes, in the C Python directory, for example, go to the C Python directory, there is average_age.py is there. So the file is present in this directory. It is going to execute the code. So what is the difference between the Python command and py command? The only difference is, in case of py command, the environment variable is not required. For example, this is the, if I go to the path, so I am just removing this directory here. Okay, I am just taking the back of this directory and I am just completely removing this directory. I am just I am deleting it. Okay. So if I go back to my environment variables, particularly for path environment variable, there is no folder where python.exe is present. See, this is a system root folder, something, Java, JDK. See, in this one also, scripts also, if you go to the scripts, C, apps, Python variable scripts. This is the folder there is no python.exe is present. Correct? So, Python could not able to recognize where the Python is installed. So, my computer could not able to recognize where Python is installed. If this is my current computer situation, see the difference of executing the code. You say Python average age.py. Okay, so let me just close and open the same directory again, same command prompt. Okay, so Python C Python / average age.py. So as we already discussed, how this code going to be executed, my computer first going to verify where the Python is installed using the environment variable, path environment variable. So there I just remove the path where the Python get installed. This is the path where Python get installed. I just removed from this one. So Python could not able to identify where Python gets installed. So this one is going to fail. Say Python was not found. But when I'm using this py command, C Python average age.py, it is executing that. The reference is that, see, in case of whenever using the Python command, definitely we need to provide the path where Python is installed in your laptop into the environment variable path. If you don't provide the path environment variable, the directory where Python is installed in your laptop, this Python command will not work. But py command will work always. Where the Python is installed somewhere in your laptop and you did not mention the Python installation directory in the path environment variable, even in that case also, py command will work. That is the main difference between the Python command and py command to execute the code. Okay, is it clear, everyone? Any doubts here? So I'm just going to make my path variable back. So I just added my path variable back. So now this directory is where the Python is installed. I'm just saving everyone. And now I'm just going to command prompt again, closing it and opening the same again. So I'm just executing the code again. Python C. This is the directory where average age file is present. Now it is executed. See, because with the Python command, my computer always going to check the Python installation directory, which is already present in the path environment variable. It find it there, and taking the help of that Python software, it is going to execute the code present in this directory. Clear? But py command is not required. That py command doesn't require whether the Python installation directory is present in the path environment variable or not. It doesn't matter to py command. Is it clear? Any questions so far? How to execute a Python code using the Python command or py command? Any questions from anyone? Hey, hi Chandrasekhar, sorry. So I just saw your note. I just joined you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So far we have completed what is Python, why Python, and how to just execute a code. What is the command we need to use to execute the Python code? That's what we have seen. Okay. So these are all the general topics, whatever we have covered so far. Now the real Python concepts we are going to start during our course. Okay. What is the real Python concepts? The very first fundamental topic in Python is the built-in types. Okay. So let us understand what is the purpose of these built-in types first. We have many built-in types in Python, and these are the built-in types we mostly using in our day-to-day coding. Okay. First, numbers. Numbers is one of the built-in type. Like if you want to save any integer number, there is a integer built-in type is there. If you want to save any some floating, some decimal number like 3.42 or something, there is a floating point number type is available. So and so, hexadecimal numbers, octal decimal numbers, binary numbers. So many number systems are there. We are going to discuss each and every number in detail. Okay. And now the strings. If you want to save any text information, there is a string type, built-in type is already available. And if you want to save any number of elements, so either numbers and strings can save only a single value in it. But a list is a where we can able to save multiple values as a sequence. Such a thing, what we call is a list. Okay. So similarly, we have some multiple different data types, dictionaries, tuples, files, sets, booleans, and etc. Each and every built-in type we are going to discuss in detail in during our course. These are all the fundamental topics of Python full stack course. Okay. So let us start with the first built-in type, okay, called number. So before that, then what is the use of this numbers is we already discussed. They are designed and developed to save a specific type of information. If you want to save any integer number information, then you need to save it in the integer built-in type. Okay. If you want to save some text information, then you have to save it in a string built-in type, etc. Okay. And these built-in types are, whenever you're executing a code which is written using these built-in types, the code runs very fast because those are written in a very good way, saving in such a way that the code which are using these built-in types runs very fast, very quick. Okay. So these are the two main reasons for using the built-in types in our day-to-day coding. So let us first understand what the different type of numbers in present in Python. Okay. So we'll go one by one in detail actually, but first I'll just give you the list of all the number systems. Integers. Integer is a one built-in number type in Python, where it is developed and designed to save any integer value. So 12 is an integer value, 203 is an integer value. Okay. So these are all the integer values. Similarly, floating point, if you want any decimals, 98.34, 4.23, and etc. These are all the decimal values present. And if you want to save any decimal numbers or like floating point real numbers, those can be saved in the floating point number built-in type. Okay. So we have each and every type: octal numbers, hexa numbers, binary numbers, complex numbers. Okay. Decimal, fixed precision numbers, fractions, booleans, everything are there. So we are going to discuss each and every number from detail in tomorrow. Okay. So this is just introduction of what the different type of number built-in types present in Python, and how we are going to create a variables for each and every built-in type, how we are going to save the each and every built-in values, number values present into variables. Everything we are going to discuss from tomorrow onwards. So in fact, like to tell in different way, our actual Python theory is going to start from tomorrow. Okay. So far we covered topics is general topics like what is Python, why Python, what is interpreter, what is its job, and also we have already discussed about one more topic called how to execute a Python code using the two commands, Python command, Py command. Is it clear everyone so far? Any questions from anyone? Okay. Yeah. So one more information I want to just give to everyone in the class. Okay. I have shared this entire folder structure present in Google Drive to everyone. Okay. This is a 61th batch, whatever I am training for Python full stack. So this folder in the Google Drive, I have given a full access to all the people because the batch got freeze yesterday, and the people who are joined this batch, for everyone in the batch, I have given a full access to this entire folder structure. Okay. So this daily live classes is one of the folder where what are the session we are having on daily basis. Every session will be recorded and shared in this folder with a folder name called day 4, day 5, and etc. etc. Okay. If you go for day 1, there is a one for drive, one video is there. So every folder there is a one video. That video is nothing but a recorded session of that particular class. Day 3, I split into two videos, so that's why you have seen two videos. Generally, we are having only one video. So similarly here also we are having one more folder. I'm just going to create on every day basis. So day 4 and date is 16.10 and demo classes are over. From here we are going to start and I'll just copy the video of this our class today. Okay. So